Hello everybody and welcome to Funky Junk Inspiration. My name is Christy. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell, and make sure you like and comment on our videos. Today's playlist is from Take 5 and it's called You Go Girl because today is You Go Girl Day, October 11th. Your hosts today are Mary from the Painted Peach, Jeannie from Jeannie's Palette, and myself, Christy from Funky Junk Inspiration. We'd love it if you'd subscribe to all of our channels and also subscribe to all of our collaborators that are with us today. It's going to be a fun and exciting day. All right, here, so let's get started here. You Go Girl. A lot of times we think about Rosie the Riveter when we think about You Go Girl, the girl power, all that kind of stuff. I am a proud member of the UAW, Local 685, and this is a project that we did last year. But today I decided to go with pink. I decided that since October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it would be fun to make us a neat and cute little breast cancer awareness sign here. Now I got this palette board. I got it at Hobby Lobby. All the stuff I got here at Hobby Lobby. The paper came from a paper pack that I already had. So, but the wood pieces and stuff did come from Hobby Lobby. And I think this is just going to be kind of cute to put on here and all that. Now I found this pink jute dirt cheap at Hobby Lobby on clearance, so I decided that I would go ahead and purchase it and go from there. Okay, so now in that little squirt bottle is my Mod Podge. I put it in the squirt bottle because it gives it a little bit easier manageability. So we're going to put some Mod Podge on here and put our paper on. I'm trying to decide if I want to put the paper on more than one plank or not. I was kind of torn between doing that, and as you see later on in the video, you'll see that I ended up doing multiple planks right there. So okay, so I'm just spreading the Mod Podge out along here, and we're going to put the paper on. Of course, you know, you always got to put extra Mod Podge on the corners and the edges. It seems like you always miss a little bit when it comes to doing that. But we're just going to lift that paper and stick it under there, and it's not a big deal. Now I flip my board over, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my box knife, and I'm just going to cut the excess paper off. Now I did kind of tear the paper a little bit because it was still wet from the Mod Podge, but I like that distressed look anyway, so it's not going to really matter. Now we're going to just take our little gator, our little sanding block here, and sand those edges off. And if you don't like the distressed look and you want to use the iron-on method to make sure you don't have wrinkles or anything, do that. Do you on stuff like that. Wrinkles don't bother me. The little torn pieces don't bother me either. So here's where I decided, yes, I'm going to go ahead and do the second plank, and I'm going to put it on there, and here we are just putting the Mod Podge on. But what I was saying about the sanding, if you wait till your project's dry and that Mod Podge is good and dry and stuff, and then sand, you won't tear either. So, but I'm impatient. I can't wait. So here we go again. Now on this piece here, because we've got to get down in those edges and stuff, I end up distressing this one quite a bit because I ended up tearing my paper a little bit. But I just took my little sander and I just kind of held it there in the corner. Now normally I have a little metal palette knife that I'll reach down in there and get those edges back out of there. I couldn't find it, so I tried the plastic one. It didn't work. So I kind of gave up on it and decided to sand the other. Then I decided to grab my box knife and kind of get those pieces out of there. And where I gave up at the top, we end up going in and getting those too. So ladies, please be careful and don't cut yourself when you're messing with a box knife and things like that. So now what I end up doing is I get that piece down there at the bottom, is I sand over the whole thing just to distress it some more. I tore a little piece of the paper off there. Didn't mean to tear it quite that much, but I think it'll look good when we get it all finished. Now the other two planks we're going to paint. I'm going to use this kind of hot pink, deep colored pink, whatever you want to call it, up here at the top, and get that covered. Now, because I'm distressing it and it doesn't bother me if the wood shows a little bit through, normally I don't try to cover the whole thing. But since I used almost a whole bottle of paint up there at the top, I end up getting it covered completely. So just happens, you know. But don't fret if you don't get the whole thing covered, because I think that looks really, really good when you can still see the wood through. So I'm just going to wipe a little bit of that excess paint off there, and we're just going to bring that hot pink down onto the other planks down here on top of the paper. I'm just going right over the top there. Now when I pick up my board, I noticed that I got a little bit of pink over the edge, so I'm going to go ahead and paint those edges right there. Now I just painted that top plank just so that it looks purposeful, that I meant to do that, and it doesn't look sloppy from the side. Okay, again, I love these boards because they have that little stand on the back. It just makes them so nice, so you don't have to try to find a plate holder or something like that to lean your project up against. Okay, so here we're going to use a lighter pink down here. And again, I get way too much paint on my board. If I was a smart little girl, I would have put the paint on a palette and then went from there, but you know, always trying to take shortcuts, right? So we're just going to get that lighter pink on there. And then I'm going to take this lighter pink and I'm going to, I'm not even going to wait for the stuff to dry. I'm just going to go ahead and go up through on the paper, of planks that have the paper, and even up into the hot pink up at the top. It kind of blends in. Now, if you want that paint to sit kind of up on top of that, you'd need to let that dry first. But I kind of liked how it looked like it was kind of blended in. So I'm really liking how this is coming out here. I like this look. I like the different layers. It almost looks like, a wall that had been painted and wallpapered and painted and wallpapered and stuff like that. So I really like this look. Okay, so I dried that a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of set it over to the side, and we can do our other two pieces. I think I'm going to go with white on this piece right here, because I think it'll really make it pop, and then we'll use a pink on our awareness ribbon. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to grab me a makeup wedge, because we have all those little intricate cutout pieces there, and I don't want to try to have to get the sides down in the bottom there and stuff like that. So the makeup wedge makes it very nice and very easy to get that paint without it looking sloppy when you're done. So I try to get a little bit of the excess paint so I don't have a lot of paint on my little makeup wedge. And then you could take your makeup wedge and use it like a paintbrush and just kind of brush across there. I had a lot of paint there, so I kind of had to wipe it off. And then I just kind of went around the edges one more time just to make sure that it's nice and white and it kind of pops. So we'll set that over to the side, and let's get started on our awareness ribbon. Now I really like that deep hot pink, so that's what I think I'm going to use on this part right here. Okay, so we're just going to get that painted real quick. I'm just going to use a paintbrush on this, and I'm brushing out towards the edges and in towards the inside edges so that I don't get blobs of paint on the sides. Now, when I was doing this, there was some etched marks on there. I can just take my weeding tool and clean out those etched marks. You got to go kind of careful, and you need to do it when the paint is still wet. If you notice here, I kept having to paint over it because my weeding tool kept rubbing off onto the edge. Okay, so let's get this stuff good and dry right here. Really excited about how this project's going to turn out. I think it's going to be a really cute little thing for the breast cancer awareness for this month. Just want to make sure my palette's good and dry. All right, so now let's get some Distress ink out here and just kind of, get this to look a little more antiqued, not quite so bright. That's the look that I like right there. You could also do this with paint, or you could do this with your antiquing wax or whatever. I just decided to use the Distress ink, just rubbing it across there. And we're going to also go across this backboard here and get it to look a little bit distressed too. And I got to remember to get down in those palette edges there. And as you can see, it really just kind of makes all that stuff pop. Now I want to make sure that I didn't have my board upside down, and we're going to start working on getting this glued on here. I think this is really cute, you guys. I'm really liking how this is turning out. Okay, so I do have this pink jute here that we talked about at the beginning. I'm going to open it up and I can't decide. Do we want a bow? Do we not want a bow? I'm not real sure. I do end up putting the bow on there, but it's just a little guy. And, you know, I think it turns out really cute. So anyway, I'm just using my hands to make the bow. I'm going to go around, take another piece, tie it in the center. Easy peasy lemon squeezy as far as a little jute bow goes to use on this project. Now, while I'm kind of playing around here, I want to remind you guys to make sure that you subscribe to everybody's channel. And I want to thank my co-hosts, which are Mary from the Painted Peach, Jeannie from Jeannie's Palette, and then, of course, myself, and we are part of Take 5. Take 5 is a group that is over on Facebook, and it is a mentoring group, and we do events on Wednesdays on Facebook, and then on Fridays we do YouTube playlists. But it is a fun mentoring group that we help work things out, help figure stuff out amongst each other, and as we learn things, we help with figuring stuff like these YouTube playlists out and stuff like that. So I kind of hold that up there. I'm trying to decide if we want to put the bow or not. I decide, well, I'm going to get everything glued together and then we'll decide from there. So I'm going to start out first. I'm going to go from the top down and I'm going to get some glue on my ribbon here and put it on this first piece. Just want to make sure I get it on there nice and straight. Yes, I'm going to need to get me a new glue gun. My glue gun takes forever to heat up anymore. I think I've accidentally left it turned on too many times, and probably the heating element's bad on it, but it seems like it takes forever and it never really gets super duper hot anymore. But here we go, putting some glue on here to put it on the backboard right there. Now you could use some wood glue and stuff like that too. For the sake of the live, I just decided that I'm just going to use the regular old hot glue and put it on there. Now, once I get it on there, I kind of want to hold it down. I want to make sure it's straight first. I'm going to kind of hold it down and smush that hot glue so it spreads it out, because if you let it stay bubbled up, it'll cause your piece to stick up off your project. So I'm just kind of holding it down, make sure it's got it on there good and flat. And I really like that, you guys. I think that looks really cute. Okay, so now I'm trying to decide on the bow again. And guess what? I decided I want to put it on. So I'm just going to cut one of these little strings off, and we're just going to stick it up there just to add a little something. But you do you. If you don't like that, you don't need to. But I'm going to put that guy right up there. We'll see what that looks like when it's standing up. Oh, I think this turned out really cute. It represents the October being Breast Cancer Awareness. And I just like how this came out. You guys, I greatly appreciate all of you being here. Again, my name is Christy from Funky Junk Inspiration. I would love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit like. Give me a little comment so that I can comment back to you and say hello and all that stuff. Again, this playlist was You Go Girl, put on by Take 5. With your host, Mary from the Painted Peach, Jeannie from Jeannie's Palette, and myself. Again, make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell for notifications.